What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be installing the SC Project S1 exhaust on the RS457. Okay, we're going to start by removing the side fairing, and to do that, just like with any other Aprilia, we're going to start with the inner fairing here. So to remove the inner fairing, we'll have to remove a T25 Torx in here and 2.5mm hex here, 1, 2 over here, and 3 over here. 2.5 hex over here, 1, 2 it over here, and the third one is right here. 1, and remove the other 2 here. Now with the T25 Torx, I'm going to remove right there inside. There you go. And now we should be able to remove the plastic from inside. There you go, this is off. Next step, remove the turn signal connector over here because it is connected to the fairing, and once we remove the side fairing, the turn signal will be removed with it. Once you remove the fairing in here, there's also a T25 Torx in there that we're gonna have to remove in there to release the side fairing. There you go. Next step, we'll have to come from the front of the bike underneath the fairing and remove 1, 2, 3, and 4 right there. These are, you can see it from here, T25. But before we remove these T25s, Torx, there is one pin over here that we'll push and remove it. Right there, remove this pin. And pull this one. And now with the T25, remove one here. There you go, and 3 more underneath there. And once you remove all these 4 here, there's a 5th one right here, also T25. All right. Okay, now with the 4mm hex, we're going to remove 1, 2, 3, 4. This 5th one here, I'm not going to remove it because I've already removed the fairing from the left. So I had to remove this from the left side, but since it's already attached, I'm gonna remove this whole fairing with the center fairing here. So I'm gonna keep that, but remove this one over here and potentially these ones here. The 4mm hex here. 2, 3 over here. 4. Gonna leave that there. 5. Also 4mm. And I'm going to leave these 2 last. 1 here, 1 here. I'm gonna remove these bolts first and then return to these. Okay, now that all the side screws are removed, we're going to remove this one and this one here, these 2. And I need an extension for these. Most of these you need an extension, 4mm, 1 here, and 1 here. All right, now that all the side bolts are removed, we should be able to pull the fairing out. There you go, all removed and clear, so we can get to the header nuts for the exhaust. Okay, so now to remove the header nuts, this is actually, although it seems difficult, it's actually pretty easy. You will have to go underneath here, and right there you'll see, right there, 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one will be on the other side. To get to these, I think I will be able to get to them without removing or releasing the radiator. what I'm going to do is going to use a extension, a 10mm socket with a, I'm not sure how you call this elbow swivel thing, to get that angle, and a ratchet to get underneath, and I'll try to do my best to show you how. Okay, so I have the ratchet here with the extension, and you can see I'm going all the way back there to the header nut, and I'm going to start ratcheting slowly at an angle. See, I bring my hand here, go all the way up there, and start ratcheting. There you go, that's loose. See, there's how it's turning. Make sure you're always seated with a 10mm. Pay attention to that. There you go. And repeat the same for the next one, which is right here. I was able to get that one-handed. And start loosening these two. And then once you loosen this is very easy to get to. Also, before you remove the header nuts, you will need a 17mm for the O2 sensor. You're gonna use this here to loosen the O2 sensor, but you cannot unscrew it over here by hand, because if you start unscrewing, you're going to twist the cable. So to avoid twisting the cable, you have to go from the other side. So I'm using a pick with an angle, and I need to get right here. So this is what we need to unplug. To get to that, you can get with your hand here and just unplug it. There's a clip right here. If you push and pull up, this comes off. Also, this is a little bit tricky, just so you know. And then underneath here, because this is not the O2 sensor, this goes to the O2 sensor. We need to remove this one here. I don't know if it's even focused here, but it's kind of difficult to show you. It's right, this one. Okay, this has to be removed. And with a pick underneath, you have to go underneath and unclip it. And when you unclip it, this will come off right here, like this. That way we can start twisting the O2 sensor from down there, and this will start rotating with it. So now we can freely twist the O2 sensor because the cable twists with it. And there you go. This is out. Then we can just leave that there on the side for now until we install the SE project. Okay, so now the O2 sensor is removed. The 4 header nuts are removed. The last part is to remove the center axle that holds the exhaust there. So if you're alone, technically you need help to do this, but if you're alone, I figure out a way. There's a 13mm socket, 13mm nut over there. So what I did is I placed a small ratchet over there with a 13mm socket to hold the nut in place. And then from the other side, with a 10mm and an extension, 10mm socket, you'll see right there, there's a 10mm. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna place the extension in here, and then with my left hand, see the ratchet right there, I'm gonna hold it in place there while I'm ratcheting with my right hand through here, like this. Right hand ratchet, left hand hold the ratchet in there. Okay, so all 4 header nuts are removed. The header rings are also dropped down, and what's left is everything that's holding the exhaust right now is the center bolt, the long bolt. So I'm gonna go hold it, remove the bolt, and the exhaust should fall on my arms. So once I remove the bolt from the hanger, there you go, there's the hanger, and then everything should be on my hands. Okay, once you remove the exhaust, you will also have to remove this 6mm hex O2 sensor plug, because we're gonna have to use it on the SE project. There you go. Okay, now we're gonna get the SE Project 2 headers. We're going to place this in here, but before we do that, we're going to use the provided paste. There you go. Okay, we're gonna take some ceramic paste and apply it all the way around here. Now we're gonna insert these two here. Right there. Also the paste makes it a little easier. Okay, one tip here for the O2 sensor. You have to reinstall the SE Project with a 17mm, but you will have to remove this cable from here. This cable goes underneath here, right here, and goes up. So because on the SE Project, the O2 sensor is higher, not lower where the stock exhaust was, it creates too much of a distance from here up to the header. So basically it has to be removed. You don't have to unscrew this to remove the connector, because the connector goes underneath here. There's not enough space. All you need to do is with your finger, just grab this and push it up. So basically this bracket, you have to push it against the oil filter and create space like this. Push it in while you're pulling the O2 sensor plug out so you can remove it. Okay, so SE Project headers are in place with the O2 sensor right there. You can see I hand tightened the header nuts already with the rings. Make sure you also include the O2 the gaskets. There is 2 O-ring gaskets for each. Make sure if you drop it to reinsert it. For me, the left header gasket dropped. What happens is when it drops, you can't place it back in place. What I did is I took a dab of engine oil around the gasket and placed it in place. That helps it create a little bit of a adhesive and stay in place. Although that will cause to get some smoke when you start the engine, but that's okay. Also reconnect the O2 sensor from this side right over there. Make sure it doesn't touch the exhaust, the headers, and do not tighten these too much yet. First, we're going to place the second part of the exhaust, and because we want to make sure it aligns, we leave the header nuts loose and then we'll tighten them in the end altogether. So technically so far, you could do this job by only removing the right fairing. Although I do recommend removing the left fairing. It will make your life easier, but it is possible to do it only by removing the right fairing. All right, now we're gonna take some ceramic paste again and place it right here, all around, just like we did before. Okay, now we have the ceramic paste in. We can start aligning the 2 headers with the exhaust. There you go. Placed all the way in. So when you place the headers onto the slip-on, technically, you're gonna have to align it right there, over there. An SE Project is providing a new bolt, 6mm, with a washer and the nut that will go through there. So the same way here, I'm gonna place the ratchet with a 6mm hex. From the other side, I'm gonna have the extended 13mm socket to screw that one right there with the black washer the SE Project provides. But I'm not going to tighten this yet. I'm gonna start with the header nuts, make sure they're all placed properly and tightened, and then I'm gonna continue with that. Okay, so there's really no way to use a torque wrench for these header nuts because you have to go on an angle with this inside. So if you place a torque wrench here instead of the ratchet, because of the angle, you're not going to get the right torque because it's going to be at an angle. If you want to have the proper torque, you have to remove the radiator. But there's really no need to torque them as long as you have an understanding of feel and how much you need to tighten these headers. Also, they are copper, so you have to be very careful when you tighten these. Be seated with a 10mm very properly when you tighten. Now, there's really no way for me to explain how much to tighten these, but once you probably sit it inside with a 10 millimeter, you would have to basically use strength as much as this stubby ratchet over here is. You would use strength as much as it stops and you feel that it's not going anymore. Again, there's really no way I can explain how to torque something by feel. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, maybe you shouldn't be doing this install at all. If you know how to do an exhaust install, you just needed this video as a guide, then you will know also how to torque by feel. Also, place the 2 springs under here, right there, the 2 springs. And right here, I believe there's a bracket, an extension that SC Project provides for the fairing. I'm going to be installing that later. What else? Also, the baffle. It has a 4 millimeter hex over here, which I removed. I cannot remove it with the ratchet. I don't know why it felt like it was seized. I actually had to use an impact wrench right there to remove it, and somehow even the impact wrench, I don't want to say it struggled, but I did feel the resistance. There's no way I would be able to remove this by hand. I don't know why. Now, I tried to pull the baffle out. It's not coming out to save my life. I don't know why. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the bike, warm up the exhaust a little bit, and hopefully the heat will be able to loosen up the baffle so I can remove it. Okay, last but not least, before I start it, SC Project provides this ECR, electronic catalytic remover. Now, you won't need this if you install a tune like Gabbro's map. The plan is to do Gabbro's race map on this bike, but I don't have the app map yet for this bike. So for now, I'm going to install this right here. Okay, the ECR is installed and the bike is ready to be started. All right, first startup. Now, I don't know how well the sound will sound because I'm using a mic on me to record, so the sound might not be as great, but I am going to be doing some proper sound clips for this bike. But let's start. The first startup. All right, baffle on. Guys, I don't know if you can hear me right now. I'm sure you can, but wow, even with the baffle, this bike is loud. Wow. Okay, so basically what I'm doing right now is I'm checking for any leaks with my hand here, make sure everything's fine. Right here, everything's good. O2, sensor plug. Okay, you might get a little smoke here because I used some oil dab over there. Yep, there you go, some smoke. And some smoke in the back here. I don't know if you can see it. Whoa. Wow, guys, even with the baffle. Okay, I had to turn that thing off. Even with the baffle, this thing sounds crazy. Wow, I am really impressed. I did not expect this. All right, guys, install is complete and I am mind blown. I did not expect this. I did not expect this from a 457 to sound this good, even with the baffle on. So I can only imagine how great it's gonna sound without the baffle. Now, I cannot remove the baffle because I cannot run the bike for too long. It's actually too late. It's about 11 o'clock at night right now, and I don't wanna wake up the neighbors. So I'm going to leave it like this right now. Again, for the fairings, it's everything in reverse. So for this one, I believe this bracket here will be used to install the fairing, but again, everything is in reverse. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video helps you install your exhaust on your Aprilia 457. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.